Short answer, it's a combination, and it's not AI for the sake of AI. It's not AI washing, right? We are genuinely trying to figure out what is the best way to solve a problem. Privilege risk, analyzing the riskiness of the permissions and the accesses and so on. So this is where we use some of the machine learning models to define the risk score in the best possible way. Summarization is where we use Gen AI models, but that's a very specific use case. So again, it's the same data lake with the context, with the behavior, with the activity logs, and depending on what we're trying to do, we use different ML and AI models.
So as a customer, can I tune the models in a way to say, okay, here is what I'm looking for, or here is what's risky? I would imagine it takes time to develop whatever the access patterns might look like, right? How do you know if something's risky unless there is an outlier of data, right, for it to pick up on? Right. What is, I guess, first question, how do I tune some of these models to look for what I'm looking for, or make it more fine-tuned for my application or whatever it may be? And then how long does it take, realistically, to establish a baseline of what is normal versus what is not normal?
Great question. Let me start with the second question first. So when we onboard a customer, if the customer has the last 90 days of log data, we use that for baselining. So our current training period is 90 days worth of data, and we can always go longer. And for most cases, customers usually have that 90 days of data in the history. So we can hit the ground running with that 90 days of history immediately, right? If the customer doesn't have any data, then of course you have to wait for 30, 60, 90 days for the baseline to be established, but that's rarely happens. Now, how we train our models is we don't use customer data to train our models, because the good news is that, especially in cloud and SaaS, these are standard applications and standard behavior where what is a risky behavior of a certain permissions and what is not. So we can use generic synthetic data to train our models.